In this session, we are going to talk about Workday HCM. Okay, Workday HCM, the core functional module. So before that, let me explain what is Workday and what is the current updates currently we have it. So every year, Workday will releases 2 updates. Okay, every year Workday will releases 2 updates. Till 2020, we used to call this way, like Workday 30, 31, 32, etc. When we step into 2021, a year back, Workday changed the naming convention. So they're not calling anymore like 28, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. From here onwards, from 2020 onwards, they're calling it as 2020 R1, 2020, 2020 R2. R stands for release 1, release 2. Every 6 months, Workday will give you an update. Why these updates? So currently now we are in 2021, 2021 R1. The current version of Workday application is 2020 R1. Soon, in the month of August, between August and September, we will get new updates. We can call it as 2021 R2, but current version is 2021 R1. We are here now. These updates are of 2 types. Workday updates are of 2 types. One is automatic updates. Another one is manual updates. So what is the difference here? Automatic updates, manual updates. Automatic updates means we don't have any control. Let's assume I'm a customer who is currently using Workday application. We don't have any control on automatic updates. All the customer must accept the automatic updates, and that's the service level agreement between the Workday and the customer. They have to accept these new updates. Coming to manual updates, it's up to user requirements. If the customer thinks those manual updates are helpful for his day-to-day HR practice, then they can accept these updates. It's pretty simple. Running a report, enabling few features, check boxes, radio buttons, something like that. Now, do we need to pay the customer need to pay any extra charge for these updates? Absolutely no. It's all free of cost. The updates are of free of cost, which includes automatic and manual. So what are these updates? It's nothing but enhancements. Okay, so enhancements. Workday may give bug fixes. Workday may give new features based on the customer requirements. Or some customer may ask Workday, hey, they're the features we are looking for in Workday. So based on that, they will release an updates on every 6 months. Okay, and next thing, whenever these updates are coming in, do we have any impact on our current application? For example, a customer is already implemented Workday, they're in support project, and now they're getting a new update in the month of August. Is this update going to affect the current configurations? Absolutely no. At the same time, we cannot say no. The reason is automatic updates is not going to be any impact on the configurations. Okay, Workday thoroughly test and they will release these updates. However, it's our responsibility before accepting these updates, we have to test whether these new features are available in the application or not, whether these new features are impacting the current configurations or not. Okay, and what are all modules we have in Workday? Workday has full suite modules, like we have core HCM, absence management, learning, talent and performance, payroll, and time tracking, also benefit module. So we have almost all the modules are available in Workday, but here we are going to discuss about core HCM, the foundation for all advanced modules. Okay, and so this Workday application you can access through your mobile as well. Okay, you can access through your mobile or an iPad, or you can also access a Workday application through a laptop or desktop. Almost all the devices we can access this application. Okay, there's no restrictions on that. Right, any questions so far? what the discussion we had. Right. And second thing,
Hey, hi.
who?
Hi,
Hey,
Kiran. This is Rajesh. I just joined. Okay.
hi Rajesh. Yeah, we have just started, sir. Just almost 5 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry
Yeah.
for late joining.
No, that's absolutely fine. Thank you. Okay. And then, yeah, we can access this application, Workday application, anywhere from the world. Okay. So only one thing we need, a smart device. It can be a mobile phone, a laptop, or an iPad, because Workday has given a dedicated applications for each device. Okay, but when you're implementing and supporting, it's highly recommended to work either on desktop and laptop. End users can access from iPad or notepads or mobiles to view their pay slips, etc., or receive the notifications. And Workday is not only designed for high scale customers. It can be is implemented for the employees whosoever have 300. Workday application also implemented for a customer whosoever have thousands and lakhs. Okay, so this Workday application not limited to only um, large scale industry. We can implement for medium scale and even small scale industries also can implement Workday. Workday is very flexible here. Why I'm giving this example? Because one of the, I don't want to call the name, one of the ERP, okay, one of the ERP, German based ERP. So they will give the access or license only if you have certain end users. Okay, but here is no. Even if you have hundreds of employees, Workday is ready to give them. Okay, and right. So now I will take, and we have a separate session called Workday Deployment Methodology, where we will discuss in details about what are all tools we will use during implementation, what is the process of the implementation project and post-go support activities, what are all roles involved, what are the roles and responsibilities of each resources, and how to design a project, end-to-end deployment methodology techniques, what tools we will use during configurations like workbook, process book, during discovery sessions. So all these we will discuss in deployment methodology. Okay, what tools we will use to migrate the data from one tenant to another tenant. These we will discuss in deployment methodology session. Because it's more into technical, I don't want to start on the first day. First, once you understand a overview of what is Workday HCM, then it's easy to understand the complex techniques. Okay, fine. Now I'll take you to the course content and we'll see what are the concepts we are going to cover as part of our regular session. As I mentioned, please stop me whenever you have questions. So here we're going to talk about techno-functional. You can also call it as functional integration together. The first we'll discuss about functional, and after that we have a dedicated integration integration trainer. He will taking care of the integration stuff. In HCM functional, first we'll start from the basics. You can also say a overview, core concepts and navigational basics, like how to log into Workday application. So once you log into Workday application, what are all objects we have on the landing page? You can call it a landing page, home screen, and first screen. What options we have? For example, a search box where you can access a task, or a report, or you can view the configured data, or if you would like to do any modification of the existing data, you can access edit related tasks. In simple, create, edit, view. All these object related tasks we can access from the search box. And also you have inbox and notifications, W drive, how to sign up from Workday, worklets, system worklets with custom worklets, announcements, etc. So we have more we have more options or features are available on the landing page. We'll discuss in detail in our first session. That is our overview of core HCM. Then after, we'll start from organizations in Workday. In fact, this is our first chapter. So what is organizations in Workday? We have around 11 organizations are available in Workday. Let me list out. Supervisory organization, cost center hierarchy, region hierarchy, matrix organization, custom organization, location hierarchy, company hierarchy, pay group. So these many organizations we have in Workday. It doesn't mean we have to configure all these organizations to the customer. It's up to the customer requirement. We have to understand the requirement first, what organization they need. Based on that, we have to include those organizations in the scope. Okay, so we'll talk about all those organizations in detail. Then out of these 11 organizations, there's one organization called supervisory organization, which is mandatory, and unique. Why it is mandatory and unique? Because you're going to create positions under the supervisory organizations. We are going to hire employees under the supervisory organizations. We are going to define roles and responsibilities under the supervisory organizations. And we are going to copy 264 Workday delivered unique business processes under the supervisory organization. Okay, that's the reason supervisory organization is one of the most important concept in Workday HCM. In fact, the first object we have to create is supervisory organization. Then we'll also talk about how to create a subordinate organization, how to divide an organization, how to assign a superior organization, how to inactivate a supervisory organization if you think that the organization is not required for a time being, and what are common challenges we will get during inactivation, what questions we have to ask to the customer when you receive this inactivation task. That we will discuss in detail. And after that, as I mentioned, additional organization types and hierarchies. As I said, 11 organizations we have. We're going to talk about in detail about those organizations. And finally, once we create those organizations, few organizations like cost center hierarchy, region hierarchy, company hierarchy will assign under supervisory organization to default on positions. Okay. So I'm just giving it high level. Please stop me if you want more examples, etc. Then we'll talk about staffing models. In Workday, we have two types of staffing models are available. One is position management. Another one is job management. Both staffing models have unique characteristics. Okay, so we're going to discuss in detail about the differences between both the staffing models. Okay, position management key characteristics, job management key characteristics, and we require to select only one staffing model for one supervisory organization. Then after, we'll talk about hiring restrictions. Hiring restriction is nothing but when you're creating a position under supervisory organization, we must define certain details like where is this position is going to be work, location, you have to define, whether this position is for full-time or part-time. Okay, or is this position is for contractor or contingent or employee? Is this position is for regular or casual? Is this position is difficult to fill? So all these elements are nothing but hiring restrictions. And why you are creating a position, a reason, but because of new hire, etc. And when this position should be available in the system, from when you are going to hire an employee in the position, all these details we will define under hiring restriction. Then after, once we clearly discussed about this hiring restrictions, the importance, and no job restrictions, then we'll talk about differentiating between two types of staffing models. Okay, as I mentioned, position and job, we'll talk about in detail. Then I will come up with a case study here. It's something like a customer having one requirement. We all together will go to the requirement and we'll finalize which staffing model is suitable for that requirement. It helps us to analyze the requirement. And suggesting a customer which staffing model is suitable for a scenario that we will discuss. Then after, we'll talk about jobs and positions. Here is a very simple chapter, I can say. Here we're going to talk about job profile, job family groups. Initial job profiles are mandatory in Workday, whereas job family groups are optional in Workday. Though it is optional, we're going to create, because in HCM it is optional, but when you're working on advanced modules, maybe the job families are required. So why job profile is mandatory? Because positions key information, in addition to the location, time type, worker subtype, we are going to capture additional information under job profile. So what information will capture here? What is the pay rate type of this position? Hourly wage or salaried? What is the job level of the position? What is the management level of this position? What is the job category of the position? What is the job classification of the position? Is this position exempt or non-exempt? What is the compensation codes for this position? Is this position demands any referral bonus? Is this position demands any unions? All these details will differ under job profile and assign this job profile to a position so that the position is ready for hire. Okay, so that's the reason job profile is mandatory. Without that, we cannot complete hire process. Then job family groups are optional. Then why we are going to create? When you create job families and job family groups, it's easy to manage and organize job profiles. Example, let's say we have an executive members, management members, non-management members. So if you create the job family and job family groups, you can group all executive into one job family. You can group all management into one job family. You can also group all non-management people into one job family. And finally group executive management and non-management under one job family group for to creating eligibility rules for advanced modules. After that, we'll also talk about how to create positions. What are the prerequisites in order to create a position? How to create jobs? What are the prerequisites required for jobs? Also, how to freeze a position, unfreeze a position, close a position. Example, let's assume as per the customer requirement, we created two positions, position A, position B, initial as per the requirement. Later the customer said they don't have budget to hire someone into position B. They told us, so in the till next quarter, we're not going to hire any employee into this position. So what we will do, we can hold the position, which means you can hold the position not available for hire until you unfreeze the position or until you will find a suitable employee or until you will find you got the budget to hire someone into the position. In simple, in one line, freeze position nothing but the position not available for hire until you will unfreeze it. It can be any reason, budget issues, not finding a suitable employee, or created more positions, whatever the reason. Apart from that, we do have close position. Close position is nothing but completely we're closing the position. It's not available for hire at all. Okay, for example, customer asks us to create two positions, position A, position B, initially as per their demand. Then later they said they don't want position B at all. We can close the position permanently. Okay, so that is also we're going to talk. Of course, what are the challenges during closing that we'll discuss. Then compensation. First, we'll have a compensation overview. How this compensation is integrated with the payroll, how this compensation is integrated with recruitment, how this compensation is integrated with the benefits. Okay, what are the prerequisites of compensation? How the data will flow from different modules from compensation. We'll have a quick overview in our regular session on compensation first. Then we'll talk about compensation components like compensation grades, compensation grade profiles, salary plans, and different types of allowance plans like amount based, percentage based, unit based, and also commission plan, one-time payments, percentage based one-time payment, and amount based one-time payment, and calculated plans, periodic salary plan, unit salary plan, compensation package. All is nothing but compensation components. So we'll discuss in detail how to configure those, what requirements we need, what are the prerequisites, how to set up. That we'll talk. Then after, we'll also talk about segmentation-based security of compensation. What does that mean actually? For example, let's say we have joining bonus or sign-on bonus. These two elements will give to the employee at the time of hiring. I would like to give access only to the recruitment team, which means only the recruitment team can initiate sign-on or joining bonus. A manager nor even HR partner cannot view or initiate both the plans, which means you're hiding those plans from certain group. You're allowing a certain group to initiate the plan. So that we can achieve through this segmentation-based security. Then after, we'll also talk about compensation eligibility rules. Identifying a right employee for right compensation. Example, an executive member eligible for car allowance of $2,000 per month, whereas a management and non-management employees are not eligible. Which means when I'm hiring an executive member, the car allowance automatically should be defaulted along with the currency, frequency, amount. Similarly, when I'm hiring a management or non-management member, the car allowance should not be defaulted. This is going to drive by this compensation eligibility rules. Okay, most important topic. Then we'll talk about, of course, testing also there included. We'll talk about compensation reports, audit reports. We have so many Workday deliver standard reports are already available. These reports helps us to understand how much we are paying to an employees and what are active plans or inactivated plans, and also whether we have configured the compensation as per the standards, workday standards or not. We can fetch everything with these reports. Finally, we'll proceed for testing the compensation for an open position and for a worker. Okay. Also, how to default and integrate the compensation data with job profile, position, worker. That is also we'll discuss. Then security groups. In Workday, we have two types of security groups are available. One is domain-based security. Another one is business process security policies. So what does it mean? What's the difference between these two? Let's take an example first on domain-based. A manager cannot view a subordinate's date of birth because it's a sensitive information. Okay, I don't want to allow my manager to view my date of birth. So I can hide that. I can hide that field from my manager. That's fine. But as per the legal rules, maybe a payroll team or benefit team to define the eligibility, they may have to, they may want to, they may have to view the date of birth of certain employees. So you are hiding the field from one security called manager. You're allowing other groups like admin or partner or bench partner, payroll partner to view the data birth. So you can hide. You can also allow the people, allow certain security groups to view. Not only that, you can also allow the security groups to modify the data birth if required. That is nothing but domain-based security policy. In simple, view, allow to view, and also hide the data and modify the data. Whereas another one is called business process security policy. Let's take an example here. Let's say I have requested 3 days of leave. Okay, I have requested 3 days of vacation in Workday, and I submitted in the calendar. I selected June 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Then I submitted my record. Now it will goes to my manager to approve. Now my manager have access to send the request back to Kiran and with a comment saying that, hey Kiran, I can't approve 3 days due to project deadlines. I can approve only 2 days. Or he can deny my leave, or he can approve my leave, or he can think, okay, let him complete the work, I will approve later. He can save for later. That also may happen. If you notice here, he can approve, he can deny, he can cancel, he can save for later, or he can send the request back. All these permissions will grant through business process security policies. Who can approve, who can view, who can cancel, who can resign, who can initiate, who can review, etc. So that's the difference between domain and business process security policies. Apart from that, we do have some kind of security groups for custom requirements. We'll talk about that. Configurable security for securable items, functional areas, securable items and security policies, activating pending security policies, grant access to the specific security policies, segmentation groups. We'll discuss all. Then we'll move on to business processes. In business processes, is also you can say workflow in general. We'll call it as workflow. Okay. So first we'll have a quick overview of business processes, like how to copy a business process, how to link a business process with the existing business process as a sub-process, and how to copy a complete business process from different organization, how to inactivate a business process if you think that is not required, what are the date challenges on the business processes, and how to view what are all Workday delivered business process we have, and how to view what business process we have configured to our organization. All we will discuss as part of overview first. Then after we'll start from business process framework. So it's nothing but a Workday delivered framework. We have add row button and add row button, if conditions, groups, all, due date is based on effective date, step as completions, types, etc. These are all nothing but framework. We'll talk in detail. Okay, first we'll understand what is this each and every element in the framework, because different customers may have different requirements. We must know all the features in Workday. Then business process configuration options. So we have certain options that are delivered by Workday around 14 to 16. So like action, approval chain, consolidated approval chain, to-dos, document review, review documents, surveys, etc. So we'll go through all these options and we'll discuss the real-time examples on each options. Then business process functionality, how the business process will work, and how to include other business process as a sub process, how to trigger and control the business process sequence. Okay, that is also we'll discuss. Apart from this, in the business process, we'll talk about advanced business process configuration options like create condition rule, maintain condition rule, maintain step delay, configure console approval, configure notifications, configure conditional notifications, configure validation message and translations, and maintain step as completion and routing restrictions, most important. All these are all nothing but advanced business process configuration options. That is also we will discuss as part of our session. And then after I will proceed to test to make sure our business process workflow is working as per our requirement. So testing also will be included. Then once we configure the business process, we'll move on to the transactions. So transactions are nothing but hiring an employee, terminating an employee, promoting an employee, etc. Let me explain in detail. So in transaction in Workday, so first we're going to test our workflow. So far what we did, we configure organization, we created position, we created compensation, we created job profiles, we created work profiles, we can created security group. Now we are proceeding for hiring an employee. So before you're hiring an employee, we have some prerequisites. You must need an applicant data. You must need an open position. Okay, all this we need. So we'll initiate hire process. We'll go through the workflow, and I will also show what are common issues a consultant will get during hire initiating process. End-to-end hire process we'll discuss. Also, once we complete the hire process successfully, and I will also show the process mapping and workflow mapping. Apart from that, how to configure profiles, configure profile groups also will be discussed. Apart from that, we'll also talk about end-to-end worker data walkthrough, where we can see entire information of the worker. Example like how to change a date of birth, how to add a date of birth, how to change a visa, etc. That's that information, how to upload photo, like that. Then after we'll talk about staffing movements, is nothing but change of promoting an employee, transferring an employee, relocating an employee, demoting an employee, and what are other objects also will be triggered. For example, when you're promoting an employee position may be changed. An employee organization also may be changed. Employee's manager will be changed. Employee work location will be changed. Employee compensation will be changed. Employee end-to-end organizations cost centers also will get impacted. So how to align all this information, that is also we'll discuss in detail. Then after termination, so termination is a complete package like configuring the termination voluntary, involuntary reasons, and local specific, country specific reasons, and creating notice period eligibility rules, maintain notice period, then initiate terminations, process one-time severance payment, and after terminating an employee, what are common, how to handle the workday record, that is also will be discussed in detail. Apart from this, we will also talk about advanced business process events, like a common mistake humans will do during implementation of support. In such cases, these events are really helpful, like correcting information, resigning information, mass cancel to do's, mass resigns, mass advanced business processes. That is also will be covered. Any questions so far, or any examples we are looking for on the HCM part? So let me explain how we are going to present this session. We are going to present this session in 3 ways. One is understand the concepts. So I will come up with my class notes. We'll go through the definitions, prerequisites, what are the next steps needs to be configured. Everything will be there in that. Then after, I'll come up with a requirement document for each chapter. It's a simple customer specific requirement. So we'll configure based on the requirement document. We'll understand how the requirement looks. Then finally, we'll validate the configured data with the requirement document, kind of a testing. So that's how we'll present. And once we completed each 3 chapters in functional, I will come up with 30 questions without any answers. The expectations are you have to give the answers. It helps us to recollect what we discussed before we are moving on to the next chapter. Okay, and also it helps us if anyone is preparing for interview too. Apart from that, I will also give activities for each chapter, a kind of a simple real-time requirement, my expectations is you have to practice, and once you practice, I'm ready to I will review the data. If anything goes wrong, I'll help you to resolve those issues. This is how we're gonna have the session. We're gonna discuss the session as per our regular. Apart from this, we do have integrations, but the integration trainer is different. However, I will give you a high level overview on this. So here we're going to talk about reporting. What are types of reports we have? Develop a report, convert a simple report to advanced report, and advanced report components and calculated fields and business objects, data sources that we will talk, and how to configure a matrix report. Two, how to scheduling a report to run the report automatically. Then after core connector, it's an integration tool. It will fetch certain details from HCM and it will send to the external vendor. It can be any benefits related integrations, payroll related integrations, or recruitment related integrations. Can any. Okay, here we'll talk about how to configure the core connector and integration architecture overview. What are templates we have? Integration Cloud Connect, business object as a worker. What are services we have to configure? Change detection. Sorry, it's typo. It's a detection. If there is any change, the integration should be in a position to identify the change. For example, you don't want to send the terminated employees to the external vendor. If the business process is terminated for any employee, it should stop that employee record. It should not send. There is nothing but change detection logic. The integration business process, retention policies, how many days the document should be available in the SFTP, and password restrictions that and all will be covered under co-connectors. As I mentioned, integration person will explain in detail. Then after EAB, Enterprise Interface Builder, here we have two types of EABs we have, inbound EAB, outbound EAB. Inbound EAB is very close to functional. It's something like mass uploading data, overriding existing transactional data of an employee. What are all web services we have? External, outbound AIB is nothing but sending a report to the vendor, sending a web service data to a vendor or any other external system that we can achieve through the CIB. So here we'll talk about the EAB design, EAB overview, what are the limitations of EAB, what are web services we have, how to develop an inbound EAB and outbound EAB, and we also talk about CRT, transformations, and EAB features, transaction, loading Workday, loading customer transaction data into Workday using EABs, validation data, etc. And I'm part of functional. Again, I'm repeating. I'm part of functional. The integration other person is going to be taking care. Okay. Any questions to me on functional part?
Yeah, Kiran, myself, Rajesh.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Please.
So basically, you're going to cover two things. One is functional, another one is integration, right?
The training is a functional integration, sir. I'm going to cover only
Yeah.
functional integration. We have different trainer. He will take up
Okay.
once we completed the HCM. Yeah.
Okay. And my query is, see, I am from a technical background. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm full stack developer
Okay.
with Java. Okay.
Mhm.
Just want to switch to any other tool or something like that. So like
Okay.
how it will be helpful for me? Like is there am I making the right decision? It is like
Uh, the integration wise, yes. So let me tell
yeah
you, Workday has a huge demand in the market, lack of
yeah
resources.
yeah
Yeah, you can
yes
see.
I heard. Naukri
But
itself it is selling to number two
yeah,
position.
every day
I
fighting
heard that.
cars.
Yes, sir.
Right, sir.
Yeah.
And second thing is the course is, this application is very easy to learn. It's not that complex where we have to write a code behind the screens, etc.
Yes yes
Simply predefined application. That is one of the successful. That's why one of the successful HR product in the market. So easy to learn. And if you ask me, so I would say, since you said you already have some technical knowledge, maybe once you
yeah.
learn this core, if you can focus on Pechi, Pickoff, and Studio integrations, the demand will be super high. Those
Okay
are complex integrations we have. Yeah, but if you want to learn those integrations, we must know where the data has been configured for the worker. So
okay
the function is mandatory. Yeah.
So actually, my concern is only like I just want to come out from coding things and all due to various
Okay,
reasons. It's almost 10 years I was there,
I
so
can understand, sir.
now I'm not
I
in
can
it. Yeah,
understand.
I
It's
hope you understand. Eh?
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm searching for a couple of other tools like RPA, UA Path Automation Anywhere, and Workday,
Mhm.
people, Power BI. There are lot of other tools are there. So I'm just
Right.
searching all these things. Okay. So how I'm like it how it will be helpful for me in I mean like I don't know but exact scope of work there and all. I mean
Mhm.
how much scope is there in real time market and all. So could you please give me some more details about on this one?
So as I mentioned, coming to the market, I will request like don't listen to my voice also. Check the market demand, and
Yeah.
based on that, you guys take the call. So what confidence I can give here is, I'll make
Mm-hmm.
sure I will explain all these concepts. And another thing,
Mm-hmm.
it is very easy to understand, not that complex as I mentioned just now. Same
Yeah.
time, we are going to touch on the real-time scenarios also. It's not like just
Yeah.
explain the course and just left. So I will also help you on the interview questions. Apart
Okay.
from that, the expectation from your side is day-to-day practice. So whenever you get the
Mm.
requirement, if you can practice, that will be suffice to break the workday.
Yeah.
Job. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So one thing I'll give confidence is not complex ones.
Yeah.
I'll give an example. Prior
Oh,
to this, I'm a SAP. Let's
yeah.
say if I got a requirement, when I notice there is no field available, I have to go behind the screens. I have to write a code to bring the field. I want a text,
Exactly.
or I want a numeric, combination, validation, etc. But here, no, nothing like that. Just like that, you can enable it. So
Yes.
user-friendly application and cost-wise for customers also very reasonable and mostly cloud-based application. So customers are no need to spend additional cost for databases, database resources, etc.
And maintenance purpose.
Right.
Yeah. Demand is there that I can understand. Once when you got the job, right? Like how many days
Mhm.
this period and all will be there, like that.
So how many days?
Like is it for like permanent positions is there or more contract positions will be available like that
You're from US or India, sir?
in India or USA anything?
We have only permanent jobs here mostly.
Oh,
Mostly permanent. If you're
because
from
I
UK,
heard some of the
Canada,
tools they have most jobs or most of the jobs are the contract jobs only.
right, right.
Yeah.
No, here also few roles are there.
Yeah.
Contract position, very few now in India, very few.
Okay.
We have mostly permanent jobs only here. Since you mentioned
Okay.
you already have some coding knowledge, etc. If you can
Yeah.
add if you can add a studio also after this, maybe once you get a clear idea of how the integration works and all, it will be
Yeah.
more added advantage for your profile.
Okay. Sure. Then. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Anyone have any other questions I can help?
Hi Kiran, this is Ganesh.
Hi, sir.
Hi. I have a questions regarding this course.
Mm-hmm.
So there's also my wife who have joined this course now. She's on the call. So
Okay.
for this course, I'm a senior data analyst, and this is only for my wife. So does this course need any technical background because she is not having any technical background? And she's basically from uh, other stream, like she's a civil engineer. So due to the
Right.
pandemic, you know how it goes, right? Due to these
Yes, sir. I
loss
can
of the
understand.
jobs. So I
Yes,
wanted her to get into
you agree.
the IT sector. So
Right.
I don't know how will this course be helpful for her or not is something which I really don't know. So
Right.
I just
So,
want to confirm if this will suit her or not.
sure. Let me help you. So, as I mentioned, no technical background is required for this. The only thing was the basic HR knowledge will be enough. Even if it is not, since we are going to start from the basics, that will be suffice. I'll give an example. So I hope might be ma'am knows what is position, what is compensation, what is salary, what is housing allowance, and what is job data. Okay, these are very I mean basic things we are going to discuss here. So any person can easily understand. And as I mentioned, we are not going to discuss in detail the technical. So what I suggest here, attend the sessions for a few days and see, and maybe in few sessions we will get to know how we are going to present, whether the topics are easy to understand or any issues. If required, I will spend additional time to help you guys. If anyone is very new to HCM, okay, terminologies and that is also I will do. Based on that, you can take that concept. But I will say strongly, it's very easy to understand. It's not that complex. But however, at the same time, attend the sessions, do practice, understand, then only take the call. Okay, that is also.
Okay. Okay, so I mean, you were talking to Mr. Rajesh, right? I mean, I think the job market is always good for the workday right now, right?
Exactly,
I
sir.
mean, there's a
Even
huge demand for the
right,
people to work in workday.
exactly,
Yes,
and more due to people are
yes,
saying
Ganesh.
about pandemic, it's really. I'm sorry, just a second. I don't
Yeah,
have
you
an
can
option
continue.
to hold the recording. Actually, the more work is coming to India, sir, to cut down the billings, etc.
Okay.
Because in this current situation,
Hmm. Yeah. So the job market for workday is really good.
right? Yeah.
Okay.
And I have a message from one of the senior. Hi, sir, CBN. Sir, though it is years of experience, you have more, but you have strong knowledge in HR. When I say 18 years, it's like almost equal to project manager, etc. There are certain positions are available in the senior level, like capability lead or a project senior managers, etc. Still, we have such roles exist in Workday, and that's I would say it's really very helpful for you too because you already have a strong knowledge in HR. Just understand here how the Workday works, and I believe you also have knowledge on how the project management things will be. It will sure it will be helpful for you, sir. So here coming to the experience, just a basic understanding of HR concepts is enough. There is no technical background is required until if you're working on integrations. The two where we have very well built basic integrations in Workday. So no technical skills are required. Understanding the HR concepts is required here. That's it. And as I mentioned to one of our friends, kindly attend few sessions and you can understand how it goes. You can see how we are configuring. Based on that, you guys can take the call.